Congrats to Pat Surtain for winning Defensive Player of the Year for 2024. And to me, this is going to go down as one of the best examples of highway robbery from the NFL draft. But let's discuss the voting last night as PS2 won his first of what could be many Defensive Player of the Year awards, taking home 26 first-place votes. That is more than second through fifth combined, 330 points altogether. And I think this is a case of highway robbery, not because Pat Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year alone, but because of where Denver found him in the NFL draft. You look at the two previous winners, Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa, who were selected first and second overall, whereas Pat Surtain was found at ninth overall, which, sure, it's not as good as TJ Watt or Aaron Donald, but what I do think really stands out about PS2 is how quickly he won the award. So I did some digging, and I wanted to see the quickest Defensive Player of the Year winners. And I learned a lot. Like Lawrence Taylor, I knew he was great, but he was before my time. Did not know he won the award as a rookie. J.J. Watt won it in his second season, along with Luke Kuechly. Kuechly, also ninth overall draft pick, did not make the cut for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he's a great example of a highway robbery type pick by the Panthers back in 2012. Khalil Mack won it in his third season, along with Ed Reed and a couple of other guys from the NFL past. But Pat Surtain, one of 8 players who has won Defensive Player of the Year, to win it in his fourth season. Altogether, only 16 players have won this award in their first 4 seasons, and there have been about 60 winners in NFL history. So safe to say Pat Surtain is in great company. And Denver has greatness for the next 10 years. We are talking about the best player at a cornerstone position who is not even, in my eyes, in the prime of his career. We're just scratching the surface with PS2. They are going, the Broncos are going to have a true lockdown corner that opposing teams are going to have headaches and nightmares over for the next decade, hopefully. Now, with the direction the Broncos are headed, it should be a fun offseason as they look to build around Bo Nix. So if you want just more Broncos content in your life, because now is a great time to be energize and reemerge into this team after a long period of losing after losing season, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. The funniest thing about Surtain winning this award is just the way he finished the year. It wasn't even like he had an excellent last 5 or 6 weeks, which sometimes we can see voters have recency bias and remember the last 6 weeks compared to the first 6 weeks. Now, the funniest thing to me is Pat Surtain didn't even have like a first good week of the season. Remember, the Broncos defense, and it did not look all that great against Geno Smith and the Seahawks all the way back in week 1. And then after that, Pat Surtain's like, all right, enough of this BS. I'm going to look and play like the number 1 corner in football, and that's exactly what he did. I thought this tweet from Eric Delilah, the team beat reporter, said it all perfectly. Pat Surtain is the first cornerback in NFL history to win Defensive Player of the Year and have 2 first-team All-Pros in his first 4 seasons. Only 10 players have ever done it, and 4 of the 5 Hall of Fame eligible players have been inducted. PS2 is taking steps towards Canton. Yeah, he is absolutely taking strides. He is running to the gates in Canton, Ohio. So when we revisit the 2021 NFL Draft, Denver found him 9th overall. It was a very critical pick, and it was a highly disputed pick. A lot of people wanted the Broncos to go with Justin Fields, take a quarterback. George Paton goes, nuh-uh. I see a future Hall of Famer in this guy, and if they had to do the draft all over again, I don't see a world where Surtain falls out of the top 3. I think the Jags might stick with Trevor Lawrence at number 1 overall. The Jets, the 49ers, the Falcons, they are all changing their picks. I would guess it would go Lawrence 1, Jamar Chase 2, and Surtain 3, and then maybe like Sewell 4, something like that. But yeah, he is flying up a redraft after the start he's had to his very young career. And I'll also add this as well. Thank God Pat Surtain was not traded. This was a topic for 12-ish months when the Broncos were looking like they were going to have a full-blown fire sale. Bradley Chubb was traded. There was a lot of conversations around Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Not even just rumors. I mean, Sean Payton was public about it. He said we took phone calls on those players. They ended up dealing Jeudy, held on to Sutton. But there were a lot of phone calls made about PS2's availability. And the Broncos were adamant, we are not trading him. So thank God they did not trade him. There was an article, and unfortunately the title's being cut off right now, that was traded about Pat Surtain potentially being traded or should be traded. So I'm very thankful. If we can get that full screen read, it probably should fix it. Very, very, very thankful that the Broncos did not trade him. And there were a lot of buzz and chatter during the NFL draft of maybe using him as a piece to move up to select a quarterback. Good on Denver, good on Sean Payton, good on George Paton for standing pat at number 12, and getting Bo Nix and holding on to a cornerstone piece of this defense and of this team altogether. So for all the people that wanted the Broncos to trade Pat Surtain, I think we can all agree it was a very, very good decision to hold on to him. Okay, this is what I wanted to share. Sorry about that. Just kind of got cut off a little bit. So Broncos, let's just throw it on screen read. Need to make the right decision and trade Patrick Surtain. And listen, I'm not trying to pick on this one specific writer right here, but this was a common thought by a lot of people. And good on the front office for ignoring those requests and ideas and rumors and whatnot out there. All right, before we get on to the rest of today's episode, because I do have more to share with you guys here, I do want to give a shout out to our friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to be for the big game coming up. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players' stat projections. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And like I said, for the big game, it's not too late to get involved. You can get the more on Patrick Mahomes' passing yards at 0.5. Love him or hate him, which no one loves him, so hate him. At least no one watching likes him. Just take the more on this, pair it with one more, and you're ready to roll. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. I'm also just going to say this right now in writing so it's just abundantly clear. Patrick Surtain II is a future Hall of Famer. Clip this. And here's the crazy thing about this take right now. That is a scalding hot take. To say someone 4 years into their career is going to put on a gold jacket is not a take to throw around loosely or lightly. We saw only 4 NFL legends make it into the Hall of Fame this season. So for someone to say in year 4 of a player's career, that's a Hall of Famer, we should not take that lightly. But with PS2, it doesn't even feel like that hot of a take because he's been that good from the start. So one question I want to ask here, when it's all said and done, who do you think will have a better career as a Bronco? This is a very mean question for me to ask because I'm asking you guys to pick between your 2 favorite children. But who do you think, when it's all said and done, will be a bigger Broncos legend? The Super Bowl is going to put Von Miller very high up on people's lists. And he unfortunately never won Defensive Player of the Year. He was edged out a couple of times. And sacks tend to have a little bit more weight than interceptions and pass breakups do. But he's making a strong case for it. So far in his career, 47 pass breakups, 11 interceptions. He's got 2 touchdowns. There are players who were drafted not long after Surtain that don't even have 2 touchdowns on offense. That's how good he has been so far. And I don't think the conversation should be one's better than the other. They're both great. Von Miller in his career for the Broncos, 142 tackles for loss, nearly 130 sacks, 25 forced fumbles. These guys are both Hall of Fame bound players. And it's awesome that Denver was able to go from one Hall of Fame defensive player to another. And that should not be something that gets taken lightly. The Orange Crush is always going to be a permanent fixture in the Mile High City. So major credit to round this thing out to George Paton. I think it was Darren McKee on Twitter saying, I still stand by the Broncos should have taken Justin Fields. Look at what a quarterback can do for you. They took one in the first round this year. They made the playoffs. Yeah, but you got to take the right quarterback. And I think it's pretty fair to say that Justin Fields has not lived up to first-round expectations. I think he still can be a good quarterback. But no, I don't think the Broncos should go back in time and swap out Fields for Surtain at number 9. I understand the logic of how important a quarterback is to a team, but the right quarterback is important to a team. Was taking Zach Wilson the right pick for the Jets still? No. Take the right guy. Don't just take a quarterback for the sake of taking one. Otherwise, you find yourself the very next year or two taking another quarterback, and the roster is lacking a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate like PS2. So, Reed, while you were busy helping with the Super Bowl crew this week, we started a little bit of a new trend here. I'm kind of just stealing it all together from someone on TikTok/me Instagram Reels who does a countdown, and it's, all right, name a random country or name a random team, and we'll see if we say the same one at the same time. So I want to do this for the rest of the videos to close them out for the off season. We'll do name a random blank, and we'll rotate what that blank is every single video. And I want to see if you and I will say the same name here. So, on the count of 5, we're going to both say, you and me, a random Broncos cornerback. And let's see if we say the same one. You ready?
I'm ready.
5. By you and me, I mean me and the viewer, but you can play too. No, it's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Aqib Talib. I'm going to go with basic. I'm going to go surface level. You know I love to do a deep cut here, but I thought we'd just kind of go with the simple one. Did you have a random one? Riley Moss. That's a good, Riley Moss. I like to kind of go back in the history books a little bit, but that one's not too far long ago for Talib. Champ Bailey's a great one. He had an awesome 2006 season. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun way to end the videos during the off season. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know if you do in the comment section. That will do it for us on today's episode. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Super Bowl parties. And go Eagles.